Let's make some waves, people. How is everybody tonight on this Thanksgiving Eve? For those of us who are in the U.S. Okay. We're getting a little bit of an echo here.
Sorry, is that any better?
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry about that.
You know who you are. I am King Dolphin Raymond, and here we are with another episode of King Dolphin TV. This is a pretty fun episode tonight because tonight we're going to have Point Curation. We're going to get to know you've heard him on Doomcock, and you've seen him in the Doomcock channel talking about his art. And I thought we would bring him on and have him show some of his art and talk about himself. But before we get going, let us welcome the fantastic people who are in this chat. You know who you are, but I'm going to shout you out. The very first one came on at noon today, wanting to know about the turkey. Legatus Legionai. I will get your name right sooner or later. How are you doing tonight? John Rendell. The next one. The lovely and talented Sandra Feliciano, my better half. Love you, babe. We got Snorta Poopus, Q Burr, the amazing bear. Smarter than the average bear. We've got, let's see. We got John Rendell, I said, and we've got Stuart Mitchell. Hail to all of you. I hope you, hello, PCAT. Welcome aboard. Grab a cup of coffee or tea or whatever serves your fancy, and let us enjoy the show tonight. Before we get going, I'm going to go into what is going to be going on between now and the holidays. Next week, December 1st at 6 p.m., we're going to have two members of Civil Air Patrol. Next week is the 80th anniversary of CAP, the U.S. Air Force's auxiliary, and they were formed a week before Pearl Harbor. And these two fine people will tell you all about CAP and if anybody is interested. So please, if you know people that might be interested in it, tell them about the interview, tell them about the anniversary, and have them come on. Let's give these people a great King Dolphin channel welcome. On the 8th, we're going to have Cobalt and Pudgy, the author of Pudgy Adventures. If you've read any of his stories, you can tell what a good writer he is, and what a feisty little hedgehog Pudgy is. And then on December 15th, we're going to do a Just Cuz. We're going to talk some DS9. I am going to have Anti-Derivative Jill on, and we're just going to talk some DS9. We're not going to go into episodes. We're just going to talk DS9. And that will take us up to the holidays. If anybody has any ideas or people they want to bring on to interview. Hello, Sherry. How are you? Glad you are here. Hope you enjoy the show tonight. Please let me know, and we will try and get some more people on. I was really glad we had Orville Nation, PJ, on last week's Just Cuz. That was a good time. Hail PJ wherever you are. And we also had Maria T. and Telly. She was she was on, and it was a great time had by all. So please, if you've got any holiday ideas, we may do a holiday just cause or something like that. But if anybody has any ideas to put out there on what you would like, if Sandra could put out my email address for my Dolphin Wars email address out in the chat, I would really appreciate it. So we will get started here. All right. We have Point Curation. He is an artist, and we will start the show. What we'll do is going to get him to give us a little bit about himself, his artwork, and then we're going to look at some of his creations, and then I'm going to open it up. While he's showing us some of the creations, I'll open it up for chat to ask any questions that you may have. So let's get started. Point Curation. So tell us about yourself, where you're from, what you do.
Yeah, thank you for having me, first of all. And I hope that everybody in chat is doing well. I'm a 30-something-year-old man. I live in Edmonton in Canada. I work for a utility and I work from home, so I don't really get out that much. Yeah, I started painting maybe a year ago. I've been making art in notebooks and stuff like that for maybe 10 years. I got like a pretty late start. And yeah, I've found that painting is really relaxing, as well as putting it out into my community.
So you've been doing it for about 10 years. What made you decide to actually put your sketches to actual paintings?
Just a suggestion from my doctor to try a new medium and to try with panels and canvas and stuff like that instead of just using a notebook. Like having a notebook is really handy for working on a whole bunch of different stuff, but yeah, it's not very good for sales and for giving away art.
Okay. Do you have a specific type of art that you specialize in, or?
I don't really have any specialty. I'm definitely not an expert. I'm still just an amateur. I do spend a lot of time making it and working on different techniques and like developing different skills, but pretty much just abstract stuff. I really like the different ways that, like, you can make the paint move around on the canvas. I typically use more than one panel, and I'll use the panels as pieces, like as tools for making the art, so that any paint that drips over, it just drips onto a new piece.
Okay. Do you have any influences?
Most of my influences, I'd say, are musical. I listen to music while I paint, and I think I get more influence from the music than I do from painters that I really like. But yeah, in terms of painters that I absolutely love, there's people like Monet and Magritte especially. I don't think I'll ever have the skills to be able to make art like that, but I really adore Rene Magritte's the surrealism, like putting real objects in unreal situations and making really just like very clever little images, like this is not a pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And also like Son of Man and stuff like that. I really like artwork like that, but maybe in the future I'll have the skills to be able to do paintings like that.
Okay.
But sorry, I can also answer the musical influences. I listen to a lot of Avalanches and Washed Out, John and Vangelis, and things like that.
Okay, so you're more of a new wave person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and lots of electronic music.
Okay. So before we got a couple new people came on. We've got Citizen 333. Hello, welcome, and hope you enjoy the show and the art. And Canadian Spider-Man. Hello, how are you doing? You got some snow coming in. Hey, that's not good. I do you have snow up there?
Yeah, I've got lots. I
Ugh.
actually went out the other day and it was very warm, but the snow is still everywhere.
Yeah.
And this, as you know, like when snow melts and then freezes again, it's super icy outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Just
keep it
one
there.
more reason to stay in and paint.
So true. So true. So let's see.
Yeah, snow is a 4-letter word.
Yes, it is. Let's see. Sandra said that, right?
Mhm.
Yes, she did.
Uh,
Yeah. So, well, I guess we will not delay anymore. Why don't we start showing your art? We'll do one at a time, and then we'll just talk about it.
Sure. I'll share my screen here. Share screen. Also, one of the reasons I really like electronic music is just the fact that you're making not music from nothing, but it's like, yeah, very different medium. And it's like pushing the boundary of what art is. And I'd like to think that I do that with my art, even though that might be a little bit pretentious, but it's just like you can make art out of anything. But yeah, there's artwork like this that I work on.
Do you have titles, or do you have titles, or just
some of them I make titles for, but a lot of the time I just don't bother. Most of the time, if I do title it, it's just something that I either see in the piece, or it's a funny name or something like that. But this piece that I have up on the screen is just called Windy Day.
okay?
For instance, just because it looks like it's windy. A lot of the time I don't really plan my paintings more than like one or two steps in advance, so I don't have a vision of what it's supposed to look like at the end. I find that when I do try to plan out a painting, it doesn't end up looking like I want. And the other part being is that even when things go wrong or not to plan, sometimes it ends up being very artistically pleasing, or you just find beauty anyway. So it's like the whole Bob Ross thing.
I was going to ask you how much of Bob Ross influenced you.
He's great. Like he's got such a great attitude towards art.
Yes, rest in peace, Bob Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I don't think I could.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't think I could do the perm. I don't think I could do the hair.
Well, I could. Just need to get it a little tight, but my hair's a little too gray.
I think it would just be very warm having hair like that. I have a beard, and sometimes I get paint in my beard as well, but try to avoid that. But yeah, like people like Bob Ross are really good influences. Not even so much for the kind of art he makes, but the attitude towards that. Like anybody can make art, and even if you think that you're not good enough, everybody has to start somewhere. And yeah, even if you're not good at the different techniques like I am. Sorry, I mean to say that I'm not very good at painting pictures, but I enjoy doing it, and the enjoyment is enough to keep me going.
Okay. Yeah, I like this one. It's a Snorter Pooper says he likes the blueness of it.
Thank you.
It does.
Yeah, this one ended up working out pretty well in terms of like the landscape. I use a few different techniques. Like you can see here, I used masking tape and then made these strand lines here in order to sort of simulate wind. And then there's some bits here where I put paint on another canvas, and then I just shook the canvas really, really hard.
Okay.
And so I got paint to splatter on it that way.
Actually, I like the effect on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's low viscosity paint, so it flows really easily. And then the back has more high viscosity acrylic paint.
Okay.
Show you a different painting here as well. Here's a painting of my cat.
He's a Maine Coon.
Yes, yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
No, please go.
I had a Maine Coon a long time ago, and yes, he was a good boy.
Yeah, they've got very strong personalities.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with some of these paintings here, I'll just paint like the background and then just draw on it with a Sharpie.
Okay.
Reason being is that I just find that relaxing, and there's like even less pressure to it than trying to paint an actual picture. Because if for some reason this doesn't turn out well, then I can just paint over it, which is what I do with a lot of paintings. Is end up painting over them. Ones like this are similar. Oh, I'll go into. Oh, it's weird. It's not. There we go. So yeah, this one I painted the background first, and then I drew these lines here, and then I think I added the flower to it, and then put this color on top of it, and then drew back on top of that. So you can use different layers to get what you want. But one of the things I like about the really abstract stuff that I do is that there isn't really a set procedure. You can just do whatever. And yeah, so long as it's bringing you joy and happiness, people should paint. I have a whole bunch of these paintings on my Imager album, or different albums. Other work that I do is I put art outside. It's another thing that I do to release stress, especially when I'm just like really frustrated or really depressed. And when staying inside, like I've already stayed inside for too long, it's a good reason to get outside and put up art.
Yeah. Anybody in the chat? Hello, Mayo McCheese. Welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us. If anybody wants to talk about any of the art or have specific questions, please put a question in the chat, and I will put it out there so for him to answer.
And I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has, even if it's not about the art.
Okay. So you put these pictures just on random polls, or?
Yeah, I pretty much never put them on fences or anything like that, unless it's like a public fence that's along a public path, and then it doesn't really bother me. But yeah, I avoid, first of all, going onto private property, just because
that would be good.
Yeah, it's just like I do this for my neighbors too, and I think that just putting it in public, on public property, or on these the power poles are not public property, but the utilities, they don't really care. They just remove them every month or so, and then I just put up more. But yeah, otherwise it's like pretty much the same sort of rules that graffiti artists use, is like be respectful, remember your neighbor, things like that. The only difference is that these are super easy to remove. So if someone gets really offended by a picture, or even if they just want to take the painting home, they can just pull it off the pole.
Okay. There's a question from Legatus Legion I. Are you the famous Banksy?
Yeah, no, that would be neat. But yeah, Banksy has got a lot of skills. He's also seems to have a lot of resources to be able to go all around the world. But yeah,
never, never heard of Banksy.
Oh yeah, Banksy is really great. He does like iconic spray paintings on walls and stuff like that. I had a book on him once, but don't know what that is. But yeah, someday to have the kind of resources as Banksy and be able to go all around the world and put up pictures like this would be really fun.
Okay, the next one from John Rendell. Well, what do you use, oil or acrylic?
I do have oil paint, but I primarily use acrylic just because I like the fact that it dries way faster. The oil, you can do a lot with it, but I just don't have the patience to wait like a month for a painting to dry.
So there's the studio.
Yeah, this is just on the other side of the room that I'm in.
Okay.
I cut the room in half basically with this tarp.
Okay.
Because yeah, when you're shaking the paintings around, as you can see, there's paint that goes everywhere. My last apartment was the first one that I started painting at, and I didn't do a very good job laying down tarps on the floors and stuff.
P-Cat asks, how long did it take before you felt you found your style?
I'm still I still think I'm finding my style, but in terms of deciding that I don't really care about realism and things like that, it was pretty quick. Especially like after trying a few paintings, it's like, oh, I'm going to make a landscape, and it doesn't look anything like a landscape. I found that out like long before I started painting, when I was just still drawing with markers and things like that. But yeah, like with another advantage of doing it like that is if a painting goes wrong, you can just keep applying layers to it until you think it's finished.
Okay. I like the. Go back to that last one. Sure. I like the one right here. Do you have another? No, the green one.
Let me see if I have a picture of that anywhere. So I've taken some photos in the last little while. I find that part is not exactly frustrating, but it's the least appealing part about making paintings is running listings and stuff like that and putting everything up online. I definitely prefer the physical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have a picture of that one, but I do have it right next to me right now.
Okay.
Let me show you. I'm hoping to get more into pictures like this.
I like that one.
Thank you. I think it would probably be like a clever way to sell paintings, doing painting real estate and making myself like some sort of realtor type profile or something like that. But it's like if all the real estate was abstract in images. It's also sort of a head scratcher to me what makes people really like one painting and be disgusted or just like completely not attracted to a painting at all. Like depending on where you post it on Reddit or Imager or YouTube or wherever. So yeah, if there's any other artists out there and you get a bad reception on a piece that you've made, just post it somewhere else, and the reception could be better.
Legatus Legion asks, do you frame them or do you leave them frameless?
Almost all of them I leave frameless. If I'm putting a big painting like this up on the wall, then I'll just staple it directly to the wall. A lot of them, if they're smaller, I'll hot glue some wire to the back of it and then just hang it like that. But I go through so many of them that it would be really difficult to get frames for all of them.
Okay. PCat asks if there's a painting you look back on and wanted to redo.
Oh yeah, there's lots where it's just like I've given it away or sold the painting, and I look back and think, oh yeah, that's not as good as I wish it was. Now that I'm like giving it to another person, but if that other person really enjoys it as it is, then I guess I can't really feel too bad about that.
That's a nice one. It actually has a nice view. Looks like it's almost outside a window.
Thank you. Yeah, this one, all these pieces were closer together to start with, and then I just separated them because they were all 4x4 inch panels. I've got a few that are like that.
Andy Masterson, how are you tonight? Welcome. He says he hated abstract until he had to do it in college.
Yeah, there's like, especially working on it yourself, you get like a new appreciation for it. Because yeah, there were points in my life where I looked at abstract stuff and I didn't get it, quote unquote. But now I look at them and I can see like the kind of motion that went into it, like this, and seeing like the painter must have scraped the paint like this, or they must have applied it like this, and part of it, like part of the artistic value, is looking at the process that was used to make the painting.
Oops. Tell us about that one with the planets that
sure.
look like planets. That looks
Yeah.
very intriguing.
Thank you. Yeah, this one, I also want to start a series of sort of like planetariums or planet terrariums, as opposed to planetariums, but paintings that depict like a star system or something like that. And this was like a prototype. I use usually an empty cardboard roll of toilet paper or of masking tape, and that's all make the sun or stars like this. For the planet here, I applied paint to a circular panel and then just pressed it down against this. And then these little ones are tiny panels that I glued onto the piece. And then there's a steel wire on the back where I also glued those there. And yeah, this was like a first attempt at quote unquote extending the painting.
And you drew for each of those small ones, you actually drew or painted each individual one.
I did paint them by hand, but it's not like I painted them one by one. A lot of the time when I am working with lots of little panels, like either the 4x4 inch ones or these, I think that they're 1.5 inches across. But yeah, like I'll have a bigger panel and then I'll just dip them in that, and then scrape them against each other to make like these different patterns.
Yeah, because the one on at the 6 o'clock looks like there's a deer there.
Or something with a very long neck.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, if you're looking at it the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the different effects you can make by pushing two panels together, like making sandwiches or something like that.
Legatus Legioni says he heard that some artists sell their prints as posters, postcards, etc., and keep the original. Have you ever considered expanding into those areas?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd really like to do that someday. There's not exactly a barrier to getting prints, but it can be a little bit expensive to get them made. Like a lot of places, I think it's better if you do bulk, get like 40 prints or something like that, and then pay less per individual ones. But yeah, there are pieces where it's like I do wish I had kept it and then also just done prints with it instead. Not that I regret the other person having it, but it's like I miss the piece. But this painting here, it's just like I wish I still had this piece, but
that's a nice one.
Thank you. I hope that my neighbors enjoyed it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like not regret, but yeah, it's like sweet sorrow.
Yeah. Now that one there, it's small individual ones. Wow.
Yeah, those are all 4x4 inch panels.
Okay.
Yeah, I ordered those in bulk on Amazon.
Okay. PCAT asks, what's the best advice you were given as you started painting?
Basically, don't get discouraged either by not feeling like your art is not good enough. Like, don't feel discouraged by that, and then also don't feel discouraged by a lack of feedback or negative feedback. Because yeah, any artist will probably tell you that it's like a real struggle to get feedback that's negative or positive. Most people just say, "Oh yeah, that looks nice," and then just don't think much about it, or can't give you any specific feedback.
As he's showing this, please hit that like button. Chemistry Fair did sanitize it, so it is safe. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We are looking to get to 100 subscribers, and once we do that, I will have a special gift giveaway.
Also, if you haven't checked out his most recent streams, they were really good with Wendy Webb and Fit for Hire.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, enjoyed listening to them. Also, I make a lot of pieces where I kind of mentioned before, but it's like I see the image after the fact. Like this piece here, I had no plans for it, but it looks like people trapped behind a fence. And so I called this Bitter Fences. And also just like random names, like nobody was harmed in the viewing of this painting.
I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, like freedom of expression is very important to me, and one of the reasons I make art that is really abstract is it's like almost completely apolitical. Like I do have political views, but it's more important to me that people are able to freely express themselves.
As they should.
I think so.
Let's see. Let's see. John Randall says, very cool concept. I wonder if it could be somehow adapted to a guitar finish.
I think so. I think that there's lots of things that you could do with a guitar, so long as you don't, like, if you're talking about an acoustic guitar, you don't get any paint on the inside, because I think that could probably affect the sound. But I think that you could probably take it, either put paint directly on the outside or do what you were mentioning before, like getting a print of it, and then just having the print on sticky paper and just apply it like that. I also like how some of these paintings turned out to just look ridiculous, like this one looking like a little chicken man. Tadpole. So I called this the evolution of the tadpole and the chicken man.
Let's see that one again. Okay. I do see what could be construed as a face.
Yeah, it just looks close enough. I don't know. I also tend to see faces in all sorts of things.
Oh, I like that that waterfall one, or that river one.
Yeah, I like how this turned out too. It's like water splashing all over the place.
Poor Snorter Poopus. He tried to use oils on his painting, and it got too hot, and
ooh, yeah, it would melt, or like not melt, but just start to like slide down.
Yeah, he said it filled the room with smoke. Sorry about that, Bear.
Oh no. Yeah, if it caught fire, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, acrylic paint is also very flammable. So I am pretty careful about keeping like sources of heat away from them.
Mm-hmm.
But just to increase my production, I'll have like fans and stuff like that on the ones that are drying.
I like how you got that fire look on that one there.
Yeah, this one I was really happy with how it turned out. There are just like some combinations that are fairly easy, like putting. I'm guessing what I did with this one is on a different panel is I put down red first, and then orange, and then yellow and white. And so when you press that panel down on the bigger one, the ones at the oh yeah, I'm not sure how I did this one. Not exactly sure, but yeah, the pressing panels against each other, there's usually paint transference from one to the other. And so yeah, this is one where I had paint on a different panel and I just smeared it on this one.
That's a nice effect. Legatus Legion Eye says that he is picturing you grabbing some chalk and making a fancy hopscotch for your daughter and friends.
Someday. I used to do that too, is draw pictures with chalk. like as an adult, not just as a kid. I organized like a couple of outings to go and do that with friends, and it was pretty great. Chalk also being like a great medium because it washes away really easily.
Mm-hmm. So mistakes can go away real fast.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can also fix it.
Oops.
Also, in regards to paintings being flammable, I did make a video on my YouTube channel where I burned a painting for fun, and also for artistic purposes. Sort of like the Banksy painting that was burned to make a non-fungible token. I don't have any interest in non-fungible tokens, but I think that the idea of destroying a painting and filming it, it's like you're making new art from it. And yeah, the idea that art is derived from other art is a really important idea to me.
Oh, okay. Legatus Ligagenai says he always did in pencil. He's horrible. I am horrible when it comes to doing color or when I don't have the subject in front of me, which leads to his next question. Do you need a subject or object in front of you, or can you do it completely from memory or imagination?
Most of them are completely from imagination or just from like recently looking at something, like with the picture of my cat. Obviously, he's right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, most of them are from imagination, and because they don't turn out the way I originally planned, yeah, like I don't expect it to look like my imagination anyway. But yeah, I'm also no good at sketching, or rather, I'm not good at realism. But yeah, I can also just show you images that I made in the past. I'm trying to see which one of these is. I think these are.
Oh, I like that one.
Thank you. Yeah, like this style, I really like making paintings, or not paintings, but drawings on. And I'm trying to get better at making actual images out of stuff like that, or doing more.
It looks like it's got potential once you put color on. That would be really nice if you could find. Looks like a possible paint by numbers thing.
Yeah, those are good too. I've never done a paint by numbers, but it's like anything that gets your foot in the door in terms of making art is worthwhile. Also, ones like this, it's like I don't think that this is a good drawing, but it's just like just making the art is worth doing. Let's see here. A whole bunch of art.
Legatus Legion, I asks, did you start off by doing doodles?
Pretty
Are
much.
you a doodler?
Pretty much. Just like doing doodles, not even in a notebook. Just like you'll have a worksheet or something like that for work, and you'll just doodle on the margins. It's a perfectly acceptable way to start painting and start like making art. This is my bathroom. Filled it up with art. Because yeah, I get really stressed out sometimes, or like super depressed, and one of the things I do is just sit in my bathtub and draw. Draw a bath and then draw in the bath. But yeah, it's just like even if you're a quote unquote good artist, you should still just doodle.
That's a nice one.
Thank you. Yeah, this one I didn't plan out at all. Like I drew the guy, then I'm like, oh, I should put something in his hand. It's like that wasn't even intended to be a lunchbox. It kind of looks like one, so.
Snorter Poopus says he was never good in the art class they made you take in high school. I never took art in high school. I lacked the artistic gene. Kudos for your persistence and talent.
Thank you. I think that persistence is probably the one reason I have any success is just like I keep trying and trying and trying. I don't like feel discouraged at all that it's like I don't make more sales, but There are times where it's like I feel impatient, that it's like, why haven't I gone viral, or why haven't I sold more paintings or whatever, and just that's just how the internet works.
He says those binder art looks like something out of the Beatles' Yellow Submarine cartoon.
Thank you. Yeah, I do enjoy that imagery too. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different styles of art that I enjoy looking at.
Yeah, I remember that cartoon. I remember that movie, and it was definitely avant-garde.
Yeah, ahead of its time.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And it's probably dating myself.
Oh, you're pretty handsome. I'm sure the dating you is not too bad.
I like. That's a nice one.
Thank you.
What brought that one on?
One thing I also really like doing is using masks, like masking tape and stuff like that, and then making shapes based on different layers like that. And sort of like I said before, it's like if you're not satisfied with how a painting has turned out, you can just keep working on it and keep adding layers until it looks good. And so yeah, this one's like there's probably 6 or 7 layers in here. Just kept working on it over time. And then this one looks like it's probably only like 2 layers or 3 layers, because yeah, there's the bit underneath here, and then I applied like a much thicker layer of paint, and then applied the hills, and then put the flowers on. So some are not that much work, and then some are more work.
How long does it usually take? What is the longest you've gone with a to get a finished painting, and what is the shortest time that you've done it?
Shortest time probably just like a few minutes, just like a slat paint on a picture, and then I just let it dry and say, oh, that actually looks good. And then other ones, it's like I've been working on for more than a month. Yeah, depending, like, especially if I'm trying to make something specific, which I don't really normally do. But I have a painting that I'm making right now that's of flowers in a vase, and it's because it's from imagination only and not from memory or from a picture. It's taking a long time just to figure out what I want to add to it. But a lot of them, it's just like I'll finish it in like 1 or 2 sessions.
Okay. Do you do like themes that you'll go with a certain? Not sure if this is asking the right. Do you have certain themes that drive your paintings at times?
I really like rainbows, as you can probably see from the different pictures here. I like rainbows a lot because of the electromagnetic spectrum, and just like that it's a very consistent pattern in real life.
Is that a robot?
Yes, it is. It's a paint bot.
A paint bot. Okay.
I probably should have given him like a paintbrush or something like that. Yeah, this one is just like a painted like this, and then I just decided to doodle a robot on it. But yeah, like with rainbows, like it's pretty consistent because it's like unless you're colorblind, everybody pretty much sees the same colors, and it's like a very limited range of perception into light, and so that's one of the reasons rainbows are really cool to me.
Okay.
And then also in terms of different themes, there's like the art realty, which I'm hoping to make more of. And then a couple of other things that I wanted to get into. I wanted to start making like microbes in such a way that it's like an acrylic life form, and then also like put like scientific type labels on it. But I haven't figured out the best way to do that yet. But
that sounds challenging.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I might do regular type of paintings and then put like plexiglass or something on top in order to simulate that. But other themes like this art realty, idea, I think it'll be fairly simple to make
Mm-hmm.
paintings that I like out of them.
Have you tried like historical themes at all, or is that something you just don't?
I would definitely try it at some point. There's a million different things I'd like to try. I would replicate historical paintings or historical photographs or whatever, but I try to do it my own style, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, putting up or paintings in public is a good way to de-stress.
Yeah, very prolific. Just even if you're doing a 4x4, just the time that you're taking
Mhm.
to do those little panels, it's definitely that you're prolific.
Yeah, I think it's worth doing as well. I don't know how many of those I've made in total. Probably over 500, but under 1,000 so far. Because I just put so many out in public and don't take photos of a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then other ones I'll try to make into bigger pieces like this.
Okay.
Just another one of those separated pieces.
John Rendo asks, what price range do you have going?
Right now I don't have anything that's that expensive. For the most part, like I'm charging I think $5 US for one of the like an individual small one,
Mm-hmm.
and then 3 for 10. I do have a couple that are like the 2x2 foot ones that are $250 US just because of the shipping. And if a painting is on my wall and I feel like I'll miss it, then I'll
Mm-hmm.
charge more for a piece.
Okay.
But otherwise, I don't want to price anybody out. And if anybody can't afford a piece, then I'm happy to work something out with you.
Okay. Sandra had the same question.
Yeah, I mean, like if I could give away my art for free, I would. I'd really prefer to do it like that, but I'm also hoping to make some of the money back just to recoup some of the cost on the panels and stuff like that.
Panels and paint and etc.
Yeah, it adds up.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to get into painting, don't feel like intimidated by the price. It only costs me a lot just because I buy like hundreds and hundreds of panels, and I mean this year I've probably gone through like 50 liters of paint or so.
Wow.
Also, if you get really big panels like this, you can get them from a hardware store, and they're usually cheaper.
Do you paint on any other medium than canvas?
Not really. I even just avoid canvas at this point because not for any specific reason. I mean, like if I had a stretched canvas, it's like easy to hang those up. But I usually use cedar panels because I can staple them up on my wall at home, and I can staple them to power poles outside. There's hardboard like MDF, which is fine for indoor use, but is really, really bad for putting outside because they get wet and then they fall apart.
And PCAT asks, is there something specific you do to help you get past artist block?
Usually just start, or just vape weed, get drunk, that sort of thing. That's sort of a reason for anguish for me at times, where it's just like I feel like the only times I paint are when I'm stoned or drunk, but that's not really the case because I do paint when I'm not. Like when I'm on break at work or something like that, then I'll sometimes spend a few minutes just applying some paint.
Yeah, because you look pretty prolific. I envy you because right now I'm kind of in a writer's block myself, and I know I gotta get past that. But it's just sometimes what goes on in the head doesn't translate to the word processor.
Yeah, and I think that writer's block is probably more difficult to get past than with painting, because if I have no idea of what I want to do, or even if like I'm in a mood where I don't want to paint, I can still lay down a first layer on a panel just to prime it, and then by the time I'm finished, sometimes I feel like I want to keep going, or I have ideas at that point. But with writing, it's definitely more difficult to figure out what you want to do. You can't just like throw words at the screen and say, "Oh yeah, I'll just go from there."
Exactly. Let's see. John Rendell's asking, have you done any triptych work with 3 panels that fold in?
Yes, I've done a couple of those. I don't have any of them right now, but especially with the ones with the 4x4 inch panels where I stick a whole bunch of them together. I wanted to get away from having a rigid back holding them together, and have it more so that like you could fold up the painting and carry it with you, or make like a different sort of painting depending on how you unfold it.
Okay. Yeah, I was just about to ask what the.
At least I think that's what he means.
Yeah, what is a triptych? Oh, that is a nice one.
Thank you. Yeah, this one I was thinking of my cat, but obviously the cat is not.
That actually, I'm actually interpreting it as a space view.
Yeah, like a nebula, and then the
a
stars
nebula
and stuff.
Do you have any like that, like a nebula?
There's this one here. I've also got, let's see. This one probably is more nebula-ish. Also, still trying to figure out the best way to sell paintings. Like some of the most success I've had were just posting stuff on Imager, and then people asking me about the paintings if they're for sale. But otherwise, like I just give away a lot of paintings, especially if there's like a YouTuber that lists their PO box. Sometimes I'll just send people stuff unsolicited, because they are presumably soliciting mail by putting their PO box out. And so yeah, just I don't feel bad or weird about that.
Yeah, I think I'll take a look at that one, John. Hieronymus Butch's Garden of Earthly Delights. Here, I'm going to put that out there so that other people can see it.
Also, sometimes I just forget the names of paintings because I don't have the piece anymore. So I'll put it out under a different name, like not intentionally, but if you get like more than one chance at making an impression with a community online, then it's worth doing.
And you say you've got a YouTube channel? I mean, well,
oh yeah, I have some videos of myself painting, and then obviously the one where I burn a painting and have music on top of it. I don't have any like how-tos or anything, and probably should make some of those, partly to show people that like painting is not that difficult, or it's just like not to be intimidated by jumping into it.
Okay.
Because there's like all sorts of things, like using your hands, for instance, that seem juvenile, but it's not juvenile. It's more like primitive. Because there are cave paintings out there, people's hands, that children didn't make those paintings. The full-grown adults make those paintings because the subjects were important to them. And so using stuff like putting your fingerprints or handprints on a painting is still meaningful.
Yeah, like I know when I was in grade school doing, or like kindergarten, first grade, doing the hand turkey.
Mhm. Yeah, and like even like lots of people have paintings that are still up in their parents' homes and things like that
Mm-hmm.
of that. And it's just like it's not any less meaningful just because a child made it
Yeah.
or that it looks like a child's drawing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me. Here's a suggestion from Legatus Legion I. Artwork for sale in medical offices.
Oh yeah, like I should probably try doing that, is reaching out to more businesses and things like that to sell artwork. But most of the art that goes to businesses, I just give to them.
Maybe
Like
maybe on the ones you post on the polls, you should put something in the back on the back of them.
yeah, I could do that. And say where it's from. But yeah, like I've given quite a few paintings to the local shops, like a cannabis and a liquor store. There's a thrift shop who I think they sell the paintings, but I don't expect anything back from sales on those.
Okay. And Sandra's seen them elsewhere.
Yeah, if people see them in more places, then it's people will just ask themselves where the painting came from, and hopefully they'll remember the paintings. But like I don't even need to sign the paintings in order for people to see them and enjoy them, and then for them to presumably find out later that it was me who made them.
Okay.
Because I'll occasionally run into neighbors and give them paintings on their walks.
Yeah. Well, and it's beautifying. Just putting a little bit of beauty out in what would be another in a plain area. So just
Yeah.
like what you're doing on the polls.
Mm-hmm. I like all the feedback I've gotten was really positive and like that, or they're just happy to see the color in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that like absolutely mortifies me is when people leave them on the ground. There have been a couple of points where I saw kids in the neighborhood playing with the paintings, which isn't the ideal use of the paintings, but it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
really bother me much. But it's when they leave the paintings on the ground afterwards like trash, is because that reflects poorly on me as well. But it's also just mortifying because it's like, well, neighborhood kids,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But nothing to be angry about because kids are,
Kids are kids.
yeah. Like every generation has kids like that, so it's not.
Yeah. PCAT asks, "What's the biggest misconception people have about artists?"
Um, that they can put like anything that they want onto a canvas, and like if they envision a mountain, that they'll be able to paint it. Just because, like, I can't speak for other artists, but there's so much unintentional beauty that goes into making artwork, where something goes completely wrong, but it looks great. And so the plan that you had is no longer viable,
Mm-hmm.
but it still like turned out very, very well. Also, that selling paintings is like a pleasant experience. I'm happy when people receive them and enjoy them, but managing listings um, and doing like all the background administration work is really not enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
It might be
Yeah.
different if I sold the painting for like $1,000, then
Mm-hmm.
then I'd probably feel good about that. But
Oh, the old tax man.
yeah, I think this next year will be the first year I'm reporting any income from it, but I'm not sure what the rules are. It's like under $5,000 or not. You don't need to report it, and I certainly haven't even made that much.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it's nothing to be frustrated about. Just
No, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, and and you're able to get other people to enjoy it as well. That's the important thing.
Yeah, and I don't know, especially putting the art out in public. It's just like when I've had like a really bad day, or I'm so depressed that I don't want to do anything. Going out and putting art outside like late at night,
A
it's
paint bomber.
yeah, yeah, it's a good feeling to be able to just say like fuck the rules type of thing. F the police.
Yeah.
But no, I've never gotten any negative feedback from doing stuff like that. People seem to really like it.
So,
this is one that is just above me right now.
Oh, that's a nice one. That is really.
Yeah, it turned out really well. It's pretty.
Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, nice. Legatus, Sandra likes that one too.
Thank you. Yeah,
that is a very nice one. Legatus has a question. Do you have to worry about city ordinances where it comes to where you can place your art?
I mean, there might be city ordinances, but I haven't paid any attention. Like I have no permission to put these up. I guess like the only tacit endorsement that I got was from the community league, where I attended an event for the community league in this area that I just moved to, and they asked me if I was the person putting up the paintings, and I said I was, and they gave me a pat on the back, type, like not literally, but yeah, they were happy with it. And they said, yeah, keep doing that.
Oh, okay, nice.
But yeah, like in terms of the city, they haven't given me any tickets or anything like that. Utilities that own the power poles haven't contacted me. Even when I've stuck paintings inside of like telecom equipment, I haven't gotten any feedback from that.
Well, you also work for the utilities, so.
Oh yeah. But even through my work, I haven't heard anything about stuff like that. But yeah, there will be like electrical / telecom boxes that service an area, and while the doors are locked, there's still a little gap in between, and sometimes I'll stuff paintings in there for whoever has to open it up.
Oh. PCAT asks, what is the most interesting painting you were commissioned to do?
I haven't been commissioned to make any paintings, so I can't answer that one yet. But in terms of the most interesting paintings that I've made, I like how this one worked, because I was drawing a picture on multiple panels and then was going to give it away or sell it as a set. But similar to the really small ones, I wanted to be able to make like a blown up image.
And the next one kind of ties into it by Legatus. What size do you usually prefer to create on? And what is the largest size you did?
The largest ones that I've worked on were, or the largest panel that I've worked on is 4x4 foot. It's a little bit harder for me to move those around. Like I don't drive, and it's difficult to get deliveries of panels that big. But I think my favorite size is probably 2x2 foot. Just because I like the big panels, I like the giant motions, and have a whole bunch of room for different stuff.
So 2 foot by 2 foot? Okay.
Probably the biggest painting that I've made was a mural that I made. Let's see if I have any pictures of it. I don't think I can see any of them from here.
So you have like painted on walls and
Yeah, so far I've just done that once. I was like super stressed out, but it was over here that I painted some stuff, like an anti-suicide mural. I was like very. You guys might have seen that, but it was like Friday Night Frolics, and yeah, I was just like super distraught because I was pretty sure someone in my building was about to commit suicide. And so I painted a mural while like probably 12 or 13 beers in. And yeah, it didn't turn out very well, unsurprisingly.
huh.
But yeah, it's still something. I think that if you're driven to action like that, it's important just to go ahead. But yeah, that one was, I guess, 3 feet tall and maybe 20 or 30 feet long, which again I had no permission to do. But the other reason why it's like doing that makes me really apprehensive is if you start to tag a wall, then other people will do the same. And that's what happened immediately after I painted on that wall, was other people tagged it as well.
So everybody started painting on it at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it's just like I try to be really thoughtful about where I put art and how I do it, just to like minimize any negative impact to my community.
And there's another
Another doodle.
Another doodle.
Another reason why painting or drawing on here like this works out really well is the grain of the wood eats up the Sharpie right away. But if there's paint on top of it, it's much smoother.
So you use Sharpie to draw the
a lot of the time I'll do that. If I had acrylic pens, which is like just acrylic paint that comes out of a pen, I'd like to try doing that, but I just haven't bought any of those yet. This one started out as a cat, and then I turned into something very much not like a cat.
That's a nice one.
Thank you. Yeah, simple is good a lot of the time. Just don't need to draw a detailed person. Just people doing fishing. And then this one, I think I'm going to add more color to it. Add like green and stuff here. Maybe more. This, I don't know if I'll keep working on this one. Just it's quite
Or it looks like War of the Worlds.
Yeah, or something like that. There's just not very much detail down here. It's like this is also just kind of dour and down. So it's like I don't know if I'll keep. There's also super ugly paintings I make where it's just like I'm definitely going to paint over this. almost definitely. Some paintings I make disturb me enough that I don't want to see it anymore.
Oh, just didn't work right, or just was a little too dark, or
like this one here was from a nightmare, so it's like just looking at it makes me really uncomfortable.
Ooh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Other people seem to really like it. And paintings like that, it's like I don't even know if it's a good thing that other people want it or potentially want to buy it.
I like the one just below it.
Thank you. Yeah, this one, I don't know where it ended up, but this was at my last place. Yeah, like one concept that comes to me is it's like, am I making the world a worse place by making either like a bad painting, or if there's something evil about the painting, which isn't like a rational isn't a rational thing to think about a painting because it's just an image. But you know, like if let's say you discover,
well, you put a lot into it. Yes, Nort, that does have an underworld feel. But I mean, you put a lot of work into each of your paintings, and obviously these are I'd like to suggest that they are works of love, but I guess there are some that, like you said, you don't get good feelings of. Have you ever thought of, like, if one is really disturbing, just painting it over again? And
Yeah, I mean, like some of the time, like with the ugly person painting that I made, just like of this weird face. It's like sometimes I'll just paint over those, and then ones like this, I'm reluctant to paint over it because people said it was good, and so yeah, it's just like I'm really torn by that.
that's a good one. That looks like Warp Effect.
Like,
Yeah, that looks like a Warp Effect.
Yeah, I used some spray paint here as well, which is something I can't really use indoors, but I did at my last place.
Oh, because of the rental rules?
Well, I mean, my current situation is like I don't have any rules against that, but it's just like so noxious.
Okay.
It's like even vaping cannabis is less noxious than that. Yeah, I mean, like I do have some small worries also about consuming the paint by mistake. I'm sure that I've eaten some by mistake.
Okay.
Just because, yeah, it's just like if your hands are covered in paint and then you're eating, it's almost unavoidable.
Is that the cat?
Yeah, this is Minnie. He's a handsome cat.
Yeah, I remember mine. He looked about as big as that.
He's a pretty good guy. Also got my other cats here.
Sandra put your Etsy.
Oh, thank you. I have some promo codes if anybody is interested, but yeah, just either email me or message me on there, and I'd be happy to work on that or get you a promo.
Some of you do. What is the one right below, the one that looks like the alien and Pete, like that one?
Oh, this yeah, this I made through Lucid Chart, which is like a an alternative to Visio. It's made by just making different boxes and then putting clip art on top of it.
Oh, okay.
Someone didn't like it, but whatever. Made me happy to make.
Yeah.
But yeah, like art you can make anywhere. It's just like there's no reason to limit yourself to paint or markers or anything. You can make it with text.
Okay.
Or anything else. And I also like to think of putting art up in public, its own art as well.
So, wow. The crime in action. The crime. The scene of the crime.
Just like at night.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, I could see you humming that song as you're stapling the pictures.
Yeah, it's feeling like such a badass. No, it's a good feeling. Sort of hard to describe, but it's like you don't actually have permission to do it, but it's like important to do anyways. But yeah, one of the reasons I use a step ladder for some of them is because it keeps it out of reach from kids.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Otherwise, they're gonna destroy. They're gonna destroy them.
Some of them they do, and then some they don't. So it's like I don't know whether it's they don't like the paintings or something like that, but it doesn't seem to affect all of them.
Do you? I think I may have asked this question earlier, but do you put like your contact information on the back of the ones that you post or you staple?
to start, I made a point of not doing that because I was worried that they would come back to me. And then at this point, I don't. Like I will put my name and the date that I made the painting, just because I try to make a habit of doing that with all the pieces that I make. Whereas, yeah, before I separated the paintings I was going to put outside from the ones that I would give away or sell. I also used to make art with wire, make sculptures out of copper wire, which at this point is like not, like I would still do it, but copper wire is very expensive at this point. Same one, like all the other kinds of wire, prices, those are just going up.
Legatus asks, do you prefer to work in silence or with music or music in the background or TV or what?
Usually with music. Some of the time I work with silence if I just forget, but I'll notice after like 20 minutes and I'll put on music. But I'll usually listen to the same albums over and over again. Sorry, like not like repetitively over one evening, but like the album Friends of Mr. Cairo, I'll listen to pretty much every day, sometimes more than once a day.
There's always like that one song that you just want to just keep it in your head.
Yeah, and sort of like in the schizo type of way, but it's just like music can really speak to you. And especially with albums that's like I'm very familiar with, it's like very encouraging to hear certain messages.
You said you're into the you say you prefer electric music.
Or like music with electronic synth in it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
just
a
because it's like
classic.
sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's just like, yeah, with synths. I mean, like the music came from somewhere, and it's just like a sample came from somewhere, but it's like electronic music is not pure creativity, but it's pretty close.
Yeah. Sort of like Mike Oldfield or Vangelis.
Yeah, I haven't listened to Tubular Bells in a while, or any other Mike Oldfield, but yeah, I
love Tubular Bells.
Yeah, it's a great album. I'm not sure how I feel about I think it's 2015 remaster they did, but they replaced the guy in the first part with John Cleese. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like, John Cleese is a fine actor and a great person, but it's like I don't know how I feel about hearing his voice in Tubular Bells.
Was that him? Or okay,
it might have been someone else, but it sounded like John Cleese from what I remember.
Oh, okay.
Whereas the original voice, I think that was Mike Oldfield, but I could be mistaken. Yeah, a ton of different music that I listen to. Like, yeah, Washed Out. I also listen to Indicud quite a bit. That album I listen to probably once a day.
Yeah, mine. My genre is more classic rock. I did discover one group. They try and go into the old school. They try to go into the old school classic rocks, even though they're a newer band. It's called Blues Pills. You got to listen to them. It's not electric, but it's more like the classic rock genre.
That's neat. When like you can have a band, like a band as of today being able to successfully recreate a genre is really, really cool.
Let's see.
Sorry, I'm just going to say, like, especially with like old school rock, where you're like, I've never heard this band before. When did they come out? And you find out that they're a recent phenomenon.
Yeah. Legatus says Daft Punk, John Michael Jarre. I probably massacred that, or Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
Yeah, Daft Punk is always great to listen to. There's also like Tame Impala. I mentioned Vangelis. There's Just looking at the different albums that I've listened to recently. Laserhawk. Yeah, I forgot about them.
Laserhawk?
Mm-hmm. Laserhawk is very electronic and it's pretty great. Another one that I listen to fairly often is And You'll Know Us by the Trail of Dead, which is kind of a mouthful of a name. I think that they're just called Way of Dead.
Okay.
But yeah, they do rock, almost like the kind of rock that you'd get 20, 30 years ago, but not quite.
Do you listen to any heavy metal or?
I really appreciate it, but I don't listen to it.
Okay.
Like the Hansel line, where it's like, yeah, I don't really listen to it, but I'm glad he makes it. I sort of like I'd say that I get heavy metal, but like outpouring your emotion and things like that. But yeah, it's just like it tends to hurt my ears, so I don't listen.
Yeah, it probably gets distracting in the paint. It probably distracts you in the painting process.
Mm-hmm.
To have the shredding guitar all over the place.
Yeah, and the screaming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It would be probably different if I was in a giant space painting in, and if it was just like off in the corner and just filling up the space. But because this room that I work in isn't that big, for one, it's just easier to listen to like softer music.
Herb Alpert was a staple in Legatus's house.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I haven't heard of that artist before.
Oh, jazz group. Are you into jazz at all, or?
Sometimes. I don't go out of my way to listen to it, but I do enjoy hearing it.
Okay.
I also like the fact that it's like it sounds random a lot of the time, even though it's not. My understanding with a lot of jazz is it's like the musicians like practice segments, and then when they're jamming out, they'll just combine segments in different ways.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the sound of a good jazz clarinet just screeching is just wow.
Yeah. It's
or a sax,
reminds
or
me
a
of,
sax.
yeah,
Or a sax.
woodwinds. You don't get it as much at a brass, but it's like the same way when someone is singing really, really hard and their voice breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And the voice breaks in a way that it's just like that added to the song and didn't take away.
Yeah. I'm still trying to get better on my jazz drumming.
Nice. Yeah, drumming obviously all about the beat and rhythm. I've got no rhythm, so I'm not that kind of artist. Got no vision or anything like that. But yeah, it's just like it's all art. It's all very important.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, this was from the other day where it was super warm outside.
Yeah, is that a recent snowstorm?
Yeah, this was from last Wednesday, I think. And yeah, the snow is still on the ground.
Keep it up there.
Yeah, we've got enough.
That's too white for comfort for me.
Way more than enough that we have.
How do you like the big bands such as Henry Mancini, Glenn Miller?
I didn't grow up listening to them as such, but it's just like I grew up in like music class playing them, and I really enjoy stuff like that. I don't exactly go out of my way to find it, but it's like I do enjoy sitting down and listening to the giant ensembles. Same thing with like classical orchestra and stuff like that. It's pretty incredible to listen to so many different people producing the art together. And yeah, someday I'd like to be able to collaborate with painting with other people to add more artists into pieces, maybe even remotely. When we were testing the stream the other day and I was using my iPhone to stream from. I'm hoping to do more stuff like that, except for setting up the camera on me painting and then just chat with somebody while I'm doing that, and then have them make input or say, hey, can you try this or use that color or something like that. And then it would be a collaborative piece. But yeah, I'd say that my paintings have gotten significantly better since I started last year. Like these are some from September and October last year. And it's not that they're bad, it's just that they're simpler.
I like that tree one.
Oh yeah, thank you. This
That
one
one
here,
right there. Yeah, that's nice.
yeah, I gave this to my aunt
Oh,
and she enjoyed it.
I actually saw a singer. Her name is Morgan James. She did a YouTube where she did the White Album. She was singing the White Album,
Mhm.
and in the background, I guess someone was using a Mac Paint on a projector to draw out the themes of each song.
Oh, neat. And doing
Yeah.
it live.
Yes, and doing it live,
That's cool.
or being recorded. So,
Oh,
check
yeah,
it.
I'm playing along with it.
Yeah, you should check it out. Morgan James, the White Album.
Sure. Yeah, I'll check that out. I can't remember what the word was called, but we mentioned it earlier, but it's like where it's two paintings in one and you fold it in half. And this is one of those.
Oh, Triptych.
Yeah, except it's die something or by.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that. That is nice.
Yeah, and it's connected just by some Velcro.
That looks like a map.
Thank you. Yeah, this one, it's got like a much thinner layer. Then I smeared lots of really thick paint on top. Like I'd say that I don't dislike these pieces, but I like the pieces that I make now.
Oh, that's a nice one. That pink one. Yeah, that
Thank
looks
you.
like a. Oh, that looks like lava coming off down from a volcano.
Thank you. Yeah, I see a ship, like the bow, and then there's water spraying over top of it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
I
like
guess
people see all sorts of different things.
Yeah. Legatus asks, other than on canvas or a few more and the murals, have you ever done the objects? I think he's talking about maybe glassware, vases.
I haven't actually painted on any vases. I was trying to paint a picture of a vase of flowers. I'm not sure if I painted any objects. I tried to start on a cardboard box and then abandoned that. Yeah, I don't remember if I have or not. But yeah, it's just like I see other people do that, and I mean to. I see on Reddit all sorts of things that people paint on, like jackets and things. So actually, though, I suppose I've painted my coveralls. So yeah, it's just like some of that is accidental, and then I have a set of coveralls that I painted on purpose with some glow-in-the-dark paint.
Oh, okay.
So if Terry Davis saw me, he'd be very disappointed.
But I'd like to see. I wonder how your work would come up, like on a vase or something like that.
Probably, like I think it would be fun to paint on something like that. I mean, even just like painting on a soda can or something like that.
Yeah. Flower pots or garage doors.
Oh yeah.
My garage door could use a Point Curation piece of art.
Yeah, some paint on it.
Sandra throws something at me.
I think it would be like a fun thing to do, to be able to paint a building, like especially, well, specifically if they commission me to do that. But yeah, some of the worry that I have is the acrylic paint would be too flammable and put the building at risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of these ones that I made last year.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, this one I like how it turned out.
Yeah.
give this
And
to
you
my
really see how things evolved, from if this is your earlier work to
Mhm.
your later work.
Yeah, it's gotten like much more complex. And I'm still like happy with having made these, but they're definitely not as thought out, I guess. And just because like I have enough experience with making simple paintings like this that it's not really it's not that it's not fun, but it's not a challenge anymore.
Hmm.
And from this, it's like I just consider that one layer and then figure out what I want to do to move on next.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like earlier paintings like this one that I'm happy with how it turned out.
Oh, that is a nice one. What
Thank you.
what were you planning on that one?
I'm not sure. This one's just like I don't think I was trying different colors and combinations. It just looked like pollution. So yeah, I called it polluted Jupiter. And then a fish. It's like a plate. Called it a plate fish.
Okay.
And then like a fire type painting. More arts. Yeah, a lot of these pieces I gave away to colleagues, but nobody's actually been into the office in like a year, so nobody's picked up anything.
Oh, okay.
So it makes me wonder if I should send more for this Christmas or not. But
Oh, that is a nice one.
thank you. Yeah, this one's if I had other pictures of it with less glare, that'd be good. But yeah, I like how these ones turned out.
That one looks like a sun on a star on an alien planet.
Yeah. Or yeah, from like looking through dust or something like that. But yeah, I definitely think I focus more on the way the colors mix and different individual techniques that I'm using than how it turns out on the canvas. Like the
Okay.
making is more important than the how it looks afterwards or how it ends up. Because yeah, like when you paint like that, you'll make a lot of mistakes or unintentional things, and then find out new things that work out really well.
Yeah. Or happy accidents, as Bob Ross would say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these ones were oil paintings, which is the reason they're just sitting down for so long.
Hmm.
Um, Also, this just like random things that appear. So it's like I feel not bad to remove it, but it's like, oh, that's beautiful, even though
Yeah.
it's just paint
How
that
did you
ended up on the
how,
floor.
did you did you mean to draw a silhouette of a guy, a
No,
gal?
this was a
Uh,
footprint.
that's a footprint.
Yeah, just that I stepped down, lifted up my foot and
That looks
noticed
like
that
a
I'd done that.
that
Like
looks
a
like
native guy with
a
like
native guy with the feathers in the back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how stuff like that happens, but just like
Wow. Amazing.
most art is unintentional.
Yeah. Wow. So you've done a lot. Looks like you're a very prolific artist, and I hope that you just keep on going and hope that people enjoy it and people start paying. Uh, you know that you get to sell some of your stuff. Why don't you plug out your where we can find this stuff?
Sure. I have an Etsy store here. You can
Yeah.
find it just by searching Point Curation.
Hmm.
There's quite a few promos anybody is welcome to use, and if a promo doesn't work, just message me and I'll fix it. Harvey is one. It was $10, but it's $50 now. Um,
Harvey.
I initially envisioned it as small-minded villain, small promo for small-minded villain.
Uh,
was thinking about that. You can also try Alberta. What else?
Sanders asking discount code. Do you want to put one out there, or would you rather they just reach? Oh,
1 second here. I'll send it to you after, if that's okay. I don't want to go into my store background page.
sure.
Actually, no, I'll just do that. Just take a minute. There we go.
Yeah, or just yeah. Okay.
I don't think I can paste the link in.
No, I got it.
Something that's super weird is that it doesn't let you put emails in, and I think the word email is censored in super chats and stuff like that. So I find that's super weird.
Let's see. Hold on, let's second.
I'll also grab Alberta.
Okay, I've got it out there. And Legatus asks where you ship from. Northern U.S.
Oh, I ship from Edmonton, in Alberta, and then I'm happy to ship wherever. Some of the bigger pieces it would be harder to do, but especially in the States and stuff like that, it's not a problem.
Okay.
One of the things I'm hoping to look into at least is like a mailing list for paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have anything against people who do Patreon or Subscribestar or whatever, but like I would want to offer a physical product if someone was going to subscribe like that. And then hopefully like for, let's say $2 a month, then I would send them a 4x4" panel or two or something like that, because I can just send those through letter mail.
Okay. Have you thought of? Go ahead.
I was just going to say anything bigger than letter mail, I have to do a customs form for anything that crosses the border, but I don't think I have to for letter mail because they don't screen it like that.
Okay. Have you thought about doing like an Indiegogo to try and get a hard copy of it, hard book of your work?
Yeah, I have. Let's see here. I had a Kickstarter from earlier this year. Show that off here. Yeah, and I may do another one soon. Probably not until the starting of next year, but yeah, I did a Kickstarter and gave away, or sold paintings rather, because yeah, people paid for them. I need to look into how to do it better, because it's not that it didn't go well, but there was too much variety to start with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Citizen 333 says a book would be cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll try looking into that. I just haven't thought of that before. Being able to flip through a book of art is really pleasant. The Banksy book that I had was like that. And then I have the hell's his name? His name flew out of my head, but the guy who did like the soup cans and stuff.
Warhol.
Yeah,
Andy
yeah,
Warhol.
That's right. Yeah, I have a Warhol book that I look at sometimes. But yeah, like I still would say that however people get the art, I'm not happy if they enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you said you have a YouTube channel.
I'll show that off here.
I think Sandra's put it out there. I think she's already had it. If Sandra could. Oh, there it is.
For some reason, my shorts seem to be way more successful than the long videos, but
yeah, Sandra's just put it out there.
Oh, thank you. yeah, some of the paintings, or rather videos that I've made, I've also tried to make music to go with them. And the music is simply other music that I have Paul stretched and done some other things with it. So it's not completely unique, but it is no longer the original. Like, I don't feel like the music that I put on them is stealing, or like that it's not fair use, because it's no longer the same. Yeah, and I'm also, like I said before, also looking forward to hopefully doing tests where people could watch me paint or talk to me while I paint or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And yeah, also check this video out here. This one where I set the painting on fire. Worked out pretty well. It was very, very hot.
So Point Curation on YouTube, and you can see him on Etsy. Get his work on Etsy, and he's on Imgur
and Reddit.
Yeah. So you've got various places that you can see his work, and I think thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah.
And this is all part of what King Dolphin TV is all about, bringing creators and showing off their wares to the YouTube community at large. And if people can enjoy what you do and it gets more people to enjoy it, then I've done my job. So
yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to future episodes you have and different stories that people have to tell.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming again, and I'm sure we're going to have you on whenever you have some new work that you want to show off.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
I guess the only other thing that I have to say is thanks to the Scribe Light. He's given me a lot of encouragement for my art, especially when I was really down. And same thing with Doomcock as well. It's been really great for...
Yes, Doomcock has been very supportive to me as well. And so let us say adios to everybody out there who stayed on. PCat, thank you. John Rendo, again, thank you. Snortapoopus, always. He says, take care, every human, dolphin, snail, and scallop. Are there scallops out there? I know there's a kitty cat probably watching, and I know there's a dog over there listening, except we're both on headsets. John Rendo, thanks for being here. Great questions. Legatus Legion I, as always, fantastic questions. He brings a lot to the chat when he's here by his questions. Citizen 333, thank you. And John Rendo, PCat, thank you again. And again, to the amazing and lovely Sandra. She's going to be putting me to work in a little bit. Have a good night, Mayor McCheese.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and giving me the support and interest.
Yes, please show some support to Point Curation. And thank you all for coming. And for those in the U.S., have a happy Thanksgiving. For everybody else, have a good evening. Have a safe weekend. And as always, let us make some waves. Well, before I go, don't forget, next week will be the CAP anniversary. I hope you all come and show these fine people, these dedicated volunteers, good support. They do a good thing for the U.S., and it is only worthwhile that we show them support. So on that note, everybody have a good night. Thank you again, Point Curation, and we will see you again.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks very much for that. Oh, I guess we're offline now.